Namaste, very good evening to all. Welcome to Yoga Scholars. So today we have a guest with us, Dr. Ramdas Magnati. He has a very vast experience of heading different institutions of Ayurveda and also presented many research papers on Ayurvedic medication. Presently, he is the principal and medical superintendent and also the head of the Department of Kaya Chikitsa in Sri Dhanvantri Ayurvedic College and Hospital, Chandigarh. And he will be talking over a very relevant topic, which we at Scholars are also following very curiously. So the topic is challenges and opportunities of integrative healthcare. So I welcome you, sir, and over to you, sir. Now you can please enlighten us about this.
First of all, namaskar to all viewers. I thank Yoga Scholars for giving me this opportunity to speak on the topic challenges and opportunities of integrative healthcare. This is the need of the hour because none of the medical systems are complete. Already, throughout world, the great physicians, public, all are aware about this fact. They are in search of an alternative medicine, alternate solutions, which can give them a complete health benefits and make them away from diseases. To my remembrance, Health by All 2000 AD. This was the slogan by WHO. But now we are in 2020. In the last 20 years, there is an enormous increase of lifestyle disorders, more increase of heart attacks, cancers, infectious diseases, so many. This is a fact all of us we have to accept. Why there is an increase in the number of non-communicable diseases? If we look into the current medical model, medical sciences are giving more focus on disease and its treatment modalities, including advanced surgeries, advanced medication, like that. But how to prevent diseases, how to prevent lifestyle disorders, there is no established model. For this, at least we have to go to the background of Ayurveda. So certain of the basic concepts of Ayurveda, if you can understand, certainly there will be a solution to minimize the amount of suffering of the mankind. So Ayurveda envisages that preventing the health, preventive aspect of the health, preventive aspect of health has been given utmost importance. That is the first priority of Ayurveda. The second priority of Ayurveda is, suppose if at all anybody suffers from disease, we have to treat the disease with various medicaments, panchakarma procedures, etc. What are all the solutions Ayurveda is suggesting to keep the health of a healthy individual? Most important. Because we have to develop health from individual person body itself. Means health within our, how to develop health from our body itself. That is most important is every individual has to understand he is the doctor for his maintaining his own health. So what he has to do means Ayurveda has suggested certain fundamental principles that whatever available in the universe, that is also available in human body. That is yada ande tada yada pinde tada brahmande, tada brahmande yada pinde. That is most important. Second thing is Body, inside body, there is Kaya Agni, which is most important to maintain the health of the individual. If the individual's digestive capacity, this digestive capacity in the sense, it is not only gastrointestinal digestion, it is gastrointestinal digestion as well as cellular digestion. If both are perfect, such individuals will have very good health, long life, they are less prone for diseases. Similarly, from individual, within individual, there is one more power, that is immunity. If the host immunity is good, then that person will have a capability of preventing diseases. If at all, if he suffers from diseases, he will have good strength to fight against the diseases. This is individuals' internal Agni and individual immunity. These are both are internal factors from individual. Similarly, in order to maintain health, there are certain constant external factors which will influence the health of the individual. They are the daily routine, seasonal routine, seasonal routine, then taking rasayanas, that is to increase the immunity and to improve the health, rasayanas. Similarly, achar rasayanas. So these are all the external factors constantly influence the health of the individual. Any seasonal variation that will have an influence on the health of the individual. This will not develop on one day, both because of his faulty dietary habits, because of faulty and daily habits, routine, behavioral habits, faulty seasonal habits. There will be aggravation of three doshas, that is called Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and ultimately they vitiate the tissue elements of the body and individual suffers from disease. This is a constant play. That is, if an individual is careful about the external environment in terms of daily routine, seasonal routine, and in terms of diet, what he is receiving from outside. Similarly, the efforts of the individual to keep his digestive fire constant, that is, timely eating food, similarly, taking the required quantity of food basing on his individual capacity. Similarly, not eating, there are several dietary rules, that is adhyasana, anasana. Adhyasana means after taking food immediately one takes food or any type of food if he consumes, that will disrupt the process of digestion, that will be a cause for diseases. Like that, there are anasana means a person should not be on fasting for more prolonged period. Like that, there are so many dietary rules. Midhyasana means one day at 3 o'clock, one day at 10 o'clock, one day skipping lunch, straight away going for lunch, dinner. So these are all several dietary rules. And similarly, the way how food has to be prepared, that is, any diet, when we are subjecting it for process, its properties will change. And accordingly, its matra will change. That is, it's the amount of quantity what we have to consume, it will change. Suppose, one example I wanted to give you, suppose if you take kanji, it is an easy diet to digest. Suppose if you take the same rice prepared with more amount of oil, like lemon rice or tamarind rice or biryani, it becomes so heavy that it will take a lot of time to digest. One example why I'm telling is, nowadays biryani is almost we have to say our national diet. Everywhere, even midnight also we are getting biryani. So it means without understanding the basic body concepts, understanding the digestive fire, understanding the situations of internal fire, people are ready to consume at any time. Usually heavy food items we should not consume during night hours. So nowadays, at any point of time, anything easily we are getting, we are eating with ignorance. These are all the causes for developing so many lifestyle disorders. So there means similarly the season also, because whatever said in summer season, the fruits available in summer season, basing on the climatic heat, we have to take more amount of liquid diet. We should not take too much of heavy food substances. So all these rules, if one follows, certainly there are least chances of suffering from disease. So without following these fundamental concepts, achieving health to all individuals is impossible. Nowadays, the government has taken a lot of initiatives like um, fitness protocols for various individuals, in which the yoga has been incorporated, various exercises have been incorporated at different ages, why these things are to be done and to what extent these things are to be followed. They have prepared protocols. Similar way, there is a need to prepare protocols and make all individuals aware about the seasonal changes, the diets to be consumed, and understanding the individual body, understanding the digestive fire, and people have to make their own choices. It is not that throughout life people have to take similar. So occasionally people can go for dinners and other things, but it's not that every day people celebrate dinners. Then ultimately health, they cannot sustain health, and certainly people will be prone for diseases. These are all the concepts which are helping Ayurveda to promote health of the individuals. Actually, these type of concepts are missing in allopathic system. When you take the diet and nutrition of allopathy, mostly it depends on calories, nutritive value. But beyond nutritive value, how much amount of nutritive food we are supplying to the human being. But in between, there is one digestive fire, whether it is capable to digest, and ultimately it can give an end product tissues can utilize. So this concept is missing. So that is the reason every individual is unique for his own body. Similarly, that is called Samagni, that is balanced digestive fire, Vishamagni, erratic digestive fire, Tikshnagni, very voracious digestive fire, or what you call powerful digestive fire, and Mandagni, that is um, that is people have, they will take more time to digest the quantity of food what they have consumed. Knowing these facts, people have to select their diet. Otherwise, it is impossible to achieve health. Apart from this, Ayurveda, nowadays, medical system means people suffer from diseases. Doctors will go solution for diseases, that is treatments. Ayurveda goes beyond this, that Sharirendriya Sattvatma Samyogo Dhari Jivita. Means body is conglomeration of body, Atma, mind, and so these are all Indriyas. Means five senses. Because why five senses means these are constantly interacting with the external world and sending messages to the body. That is the reason special focus has to be given for these sense organs. There is a dictum that in olden days, even at the age of 90 years, people will have good vision, people will have, they will not have hearing difficulties. Like that we used to, even my grandmother used to tell. The reason is, there is one concept called Panchendriya Poshana, means how to strengthen your Jnanendriyas, 5 sense organs. So that is the reason they have told. And apart from that, always we have to keep our mind calm, and it should move only towards sattva. Then only we can prevent diseases. The first chapter of Charaka Samhita deals with Dirgham Jivitam Adhyayam. That Dirgham Jivitam Adhyayam means in that chapter they will give the essence of entire Ayurveda, how to bring longevity, that to a long life, long qualitative life. Nowadays we can say the life expectancy has increased. Even certain countries, 85 years, 90 years also people are living. But they are living with so many diseases like diabetes, hypertension, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, like there are several diseases. Even though the lifespan has increased, but the quality of life has decreased. But in olden days, even people used to live up to 90, 100 years because they have followed all the measures, whatever said in Ayurveda, strictly. So that is the reason this particular part of preventive health should become an integration of all medical sciences. And more we have to, in order to create confidence among modern medical and allied sciences, and similarly to create awareness and confidence among public, all these facts are to be revalidated. Actually, these are all the concepts which are told by our ancient seers for the benefit of mankind without any bias. But unfortunately, there is a huge gap of several hundreds of years of foreign invasions. We lost the continuity and we lost all our traditions, and that is the reason we have to go for revalidation. One example here, one Japanese scientist got Nobel Prize for working on Ayurvedic concept Langhana. So indirectly, our in Indian mythology, Ekadashi Vratam. So these are all probably all people won't listen if you say directly anything. That is the reason for which they have created one story, and probably it may create faith on people and people will follow. So this Ekadashi Vratam, people if they follow fasting once in fortnight, the scientist has proved that it is going to increase a good immunity against cancer cells, phagocytosis, for which he got Nobel Prize. This is basically from our country. So like this, we need various experimental models. It's not experimental models, technologies to revalidate this science so that at a faster pace, we can reach public. And these are the concepts which can really give good health. And probably the mission of World Health Ayurveda, that probably health by all 2030, even if they give slogan and if everyone starts implementing this, we can achieve. So in this way, why it has failed and why we can succeed. Why we can succeed means the concepts of Ayurveda are eternal. Certainly, these things are to be brought back and should be incorporated in each and every medical system. This is about, a lot more is available regarding the various preventive aspects of Ayurveda, but this is about, because of the shortage of time, I'm going to the disease model. So, swasthasya swasthya rakshanam, aturasya vikara prasamanam. Means suppose if any person not following the concepts told in Ayurveda, and if he is going to err, certainly he is going to suffer from diseases. Suppose if a person is going to suffer from diseases, what are the concepts available in Ayurveda? That is, one good concept available in Ayurveda is, first of all, for any disease, purificatory measures are available. And what Ayurveda envisages is, for any disease, at the earliest, you start treatment and try to eradicate the disease, eradicate the roots of the disease, for which people have to be subjected for purificatory procedures. That is one. Second thing, after doing purification, people can be subjected for various medicaments. There is a lot of choice in medicaments because Ayurveda, we can go for pure metallic preparations, herbomineral preparations, polyherbal molecules, polyherbal formulations, then single pure herbs, and treatment with pathya, that is wholesome diet and unwholesome diet. These are all the modalities utilized to treat diseases. Then, in my experience, and when I am watching several senior most doctors, because during my 30 to 35 years of journey, I have visited several senior most physicians. And the experience, what I have seen is, when we are treating patient, the approach should be holistic. A person suffering from an ailment in lungs, suppose if he is suffering from any of the intestinal issues, there are formulations which can treat intestine as well as lungs. Similarly, one disease model, if you take, suppose if you take Tamakaswasa, that is bronchial asthma, they have clearly told the disease will originate from stomach and it will be expressed in lungs. So a man who is suffering from bronchial asthma, certainly he will have derangement in stomach, and which later will express in lungs. That is the reason when we treat bronchial asthma, we are not going to treat only lungs or bronchodilators, antitussives, bronchodilators, mucolytics. These are not the solution. We have to treat his stomach also. So all Ayurvedic formulations, they start working from stomach and they will treat the root, and ultimately they will show effect on lungs. But for emergency, if a patient is in status epilepticus or a very severe suffering from asthma, otherwise, in the early stages, with the help of Ayurvedic techniques, that is by using Panchakarma techniques, especially the Panchakarma technique useful in this particular treating bronchial asthma is Vamana, that is medicinal emesis, medicinal purgation, and medicaments. We can totally eradicate the disease, and patient need not suffer from bronchial asthma for years. Even in our experience, when people are coming as a last resort after visiting several clinics, that they say, I am suffering from 15 years, I am suffering from 20 years, I have tried all medicines. Such type of patients, when we have started working with Ayurvedic drugs, within 1 or 2 months, their quality of life improved, the suffering from disease has come down, and certain patients we have observed that they're absolutely free from disease. If this is possible, after years of suffering, at the earliest, if we can trace out these patients and if we start treatment, probably the outlook of suffering from disease for years may change. This is one example. Like this, there are several diseases in dermatology, especially respiratory disorders, GI disorders, where in the beginning, if a patient comes to Ayurvedic stream, certainly the disease can be rooted out and the patient will have long-lasting relief. But in spite of having this much of good concepts, why this system is not flourishing? Because of long foreign invasion. Because our people have forgot about our own traditions, culture, medicine. The same problem with all our Indian sciences, whether you take astronomy, whether you take astrology, yoga, Ayurveda, Vastu, the same problem. Because the master trainers, gurus, we have lost for hundreds of years. Whatever available now, that is a traditional continuity of last 50 to 100 years. It is not the original science what we are seeing and which has really flourished long back. So once again, to bring back this glory, first of all, there is a need that public should be given a lot of awareness about these concepts. Number two, lot of documentation work has to be taken place. Number three, whatever the fundamental concepts to promote health are the treatment aspects of Ayurveda, which are really promising, are to be properly documented if necessary. Interdisciplinary interaction and protocols are required to establish these facts. And one more, whether it is a myth or fact, because hundreds of years the science is existing in this country, and similarly, at least I have seen several of my senior teachers who have followed this medicine. Almost I am in this medicine for more than 35 years. If all rules and regulations told when we are told for the administration, proper administration of drug, least possibility of developing side effects, which are to be validated. For this purpose, the drugs, especially the drugs which are creating more apprehension, heavy metals like arsenic, mercury, lead, zinc, all these the drugs are otherwise bhasmas are drugs which contains these bhasmas, or herbomineral preparations which contains these bhasmas, are to be subjected for short-term and long-term animal experimental studies. It's also possible. There are so many biotechnology institutes, B-Pharmacy, and so many medical colleges available in India. So within 1 or 2 years, subject all these drugs for short-term and long-term studies and validate that really whether these drugs are really producing any toxic effects. With this myth can be we can easily overcome this myth, because already we have our own observations in few labs that even student projects, that even mercuric sulfide and other drugs as a student project, when it has been taken, they are even 100 times dose also, they are not producing any toxic effects. But anyhow, so when this apprehension is there, whether to retain miraculous drugs, whether to lose the miraculous drugs, only we have to subject these drugs for various experimentations, or otherwise, okay, the sense can survive with herbomineral and polyherbal molecules. And then some of the disadvantages of this particular science are it lacks emergency treatments, especially vast number of diseases are established on various fronts with the help of microbiological techniques, with the help of gene techniques, with the help of various pathology techniques, advanced imaging techniques. So these techniques are not available. We are getting less amount of information in precisely diagnosing the cases. Probably this has to be incorporated in Ayurvedic science. Similarly, once it has been diagnosed, what best Ayurveda can do for such type of diseases are to be methodically documented. Then similarly, Ayurveda lacks advanced surgeries, even microsurgeries, laser surgeries. All these things can be incorporated to this science. Similarly, emergency medicine, absolutely it lacks emergency medicine. Probably few drugs which are available, like there are instances, even I heard, even textual references are available, like Brihat Kasturi Bhairav, Samagarala Tarunarkaras, like that there are certain drugs which are made out of amber, similarly snake venom, which were used in emergency situation. I heard from my grandmother also. Those days, people used to think that sannipatam means patient is going to die. Means the person will be taken outside the house. In few minutes or a few hours, he is going to die. Even in such patients, physicians used to pour medicines and they used to survive and live for long life, several years. Such type of medicines are available those days, but that tradition has been lost. If necessary, we have to venture such type of medicines also, or otherwise, nowadays, emergency techniques are so advanced, those can be incorporated into Ayurvedic science. And to validate the Ayurvedic concepts of Rasayana, Ayurvedic concepts of nutrition, concepts of digestion, especially digestive fire, various constitutions. Nowadays, the most advanced techniques like genetics, identification of infectious diseases, vaccinations, and various microbiological techniques, all can be adopted to bring this system to life and to have a public appreciation and to have acceptance world over. Certainly, this will become a new medical model in the entire world, because the entire world is going behind a problem solution in terms of disease. That too, all medical managements in allopathic system are targeted to relieve the symptom, not to totally eradicate the disease. So if it is so, it's difficult to expect that we can achieve health to all individuals, or we can prevent the health of we can prevent various lifestyle disorders. To prevent lifestyle disorders, again, we have to go back to the fundamental concepts of Ayurveda and other allied sciences. Then only this can be achieved. And when we look into the disadvantages of allopathic medicine, it has so advanced, but its approach is headache, take one pill, get solution for 6 hours. Suffer from the disease years together. Similar way, number of diseases. Suppose knee pain, take a pill, get a solution. If at all not subsiding, go for operation, knee replacement. Similarly, spine disorders. Asthma, if you take a puff, get relief. Every day take 1 or 2 puff or even 3 as per the requirement, get relief and move on with the disease. Second thing, drugs are designed to treat symptoms, and drugs are not designed to eradicate totally the diseases. Drugs are mostly synthetic. That is the reason they are producing adverse effects. And we are seeing, out of my experience, 25 years before, when I was a student, Brufen and paracetamol, aspirin, analgin, these are all the great drugs. But today, these drugs are slowly outdated. After that, several molecules have come and they are disappearing. Once in 2 years, 3 years, drugs are coming, stating that because of adverse effects, in spite of doing phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and once when it is coming to public usage, after 2 or 3 years, they are disappearing from market. Diseases are becoming chronic. One disease is causing several diseases. If you take one diabetic model, people, they think that by taking medicines, by controlling sugar levels, they think that they can get escape from suffering from peripheral neuropathy, retinopathy, micro and musculovascular complications, a diabetic foot amputations. But when we see after most of the diabetic patients, after 10 or 15 years, they are suffering from complications, one or the other or multiple complications. A patient who is visiting one diabetologist has to go to 5 or 6 different types of doctors. But if an integrated approach, if we can apply, certainly we can minimize the complications which we have experienced in treating patients. Even people suffering from severe peripheral neuropathy, early stages of foot ulcers, diabetic foot ulcers, even certain cases of gangrene, which we could treat with Ayurvedic medicines. So this is one probably disadvantage which we have to rethink to alter the treatment approaches in modern medicine also. And diet has no importance in modern medicine, because in Ayurveda, to prevent diseases, great emphasis has been given for diet. Similarly, to treat diseases also, great emphasis has been given for diet. So for creation of any disease, a diet which is not suitable for that particular disease is the root cause of disease. For example, a patient suffering from asthma, if he is going to eat too much of oily food, fried food, and food which is sticky, like noodles, spaghetti, curd, such type of food substances, if the patient is going to take, he will have more and more relapses. The intensity of disease will increase. Even in Ayurvedic system, if patient is not going to give up this type of diets, it's difficult to treat. A patient in an acute asthmatic bout has to take a diet which can be easily digested, at least in acute episode. He has to take diet which is any gruel, which is very hard, easily digestible, whether it is a rice gruel or otherwise it is a wheat gruel made out of this green gram dal or otherwise tur dal, or any soups made out of vegetables. These are the best diet. Diet itself will give 30 to 40% improvement in patients' suffering. We are unable to incorporate these diets, and this concept is absolutely not there. You take the medicines, whatever diet you want, you consume. No restrictions for diet, they are telling. And one more thing, even people are quite happy that anything can be taken, just take one pill, get relief, because nowadays people are more conscious to take variety of foods to enjoy the life, unaware of consequences. That is the reason we are unable to control the diseases. This is the negative aspect of the modern medicine, which can be even validated on experimental models and can be incorporated. And one more thing is most important. Ayurveda has envisaged a lot of importance to mind. It said, Arishad Vargas, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Because the mind is so quick and it has to constantly interact with body and five senses and outside world. Suppose if one indriya is not there, yes, with other indriyas, mind can contact with external environment and it can send signals to the internal body. Suppose if mind is not there, the sense organs cannot pass any information, communications to the internal environment, body. That is the reason mind plays an important role. These emotions like anger, greed, lust play a major role in the individual health, and they will be translated into diseases. Even in Ayurveda, we have a concept of psychoneuroimmunology. We have a concept of psychosomatic diseases. Similarly, all of us are aware that there is Vata, Pitta, Kapha. These are the three humors, which are physiological humors, which are in a normal balanced state, sustaining the health of the individual. They are influenced by these factors. Because man is constantly interacting with the external world, nowadays there is a possibility in work environment, home, because my nuclear families, cosmopolitan city, urbanization, industrialization, round-the-clock duties. People are accustomed to control their emotions because these emotions are told as adharaniya vegas. Means dharaniya vegas. These are to be controlled. These are to be withheld. If we are not going to withhold, if we are not having the capacity to withhold these vegas, then certainly these are the factors which will influence on the body and they create diseases. Similarly, these are the factors which are the cause for social disturbances. That is, we are seeing disturbed environment in workplaces. There are so many psychiatric disorders like anxiety, depression. These are also diseases, psychological, psychiatric disorders. So people should have a habit of inculcating to develop sattva and to withhold the negative forces of this Arshad Varga, Kama, anger, greed, and other things. So even such type of probably nowadays to say that psychological counseling, maybe spiritual counseling, all these technologies are to be incorporated invariably in all sciences to get good health.
Thank you, Dr. Ramdas, for a very elaborate discussion and comprehensive. You comprehensively explained and defined the Ayurveda as well as its limitations and also what could not be incorporated. That was a very nice presentation. We would like to request you to be available again with us to take questions and have an interactive session. And because you are in our Chandigarh Dhanvantri Ayurveda College, so I assume you are available for us for collaboration and questions and answers. Since we have overshot our time, and it is actually also overlapping with the ongoing Vaibhav final summit. So we would like to end it here and thank you for taking out time. And this recording is available as a video on the archive. And we will also send you a copy and we will circulate this in our group. And so that when the questions come, we will also post them to you in another session. So with that, we will close the program and thank you from all of us for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Namaskar.
sir. Thank you for joining.